Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I will be showing you maintenance on the RTR, so like how to wash it, like where and where not to wash it, and what your tire PSI should be at, and like how to lube your chain and stuff like that. So I will be showing you that. So starting with where and where not to wash your bike, I just like to use a garden hose. You can get an attachment for like jet and shower, but I mean this works. I have gone to power washers, but those cost money, and this works. So starting on where you want to wash your bike, your controller right there, I don't know what that's called, like your mud guard, underneath your fenders especially, your tires, your rims, your forks. I try not to get my bars very much, because this right here, this is foam and that gets wet, and my display, I don't want to get water underneath there, and also my light, I don't want to get water underneath there. But you got to get your motor, your back fender. I mean, you can get your chain, but you probably will need to re-lube it. Your side panels, basically all of your plastics, and sometimes I get my seat if it's really dirty, but mostly I just take like a wet paper towel or something and just wipe it off. But I'll turn on the hose and I'll show you guys. So basically, you don't really want to get any like wires or anything. Try not to get underneath the seat, but basically I just put my thumb right here so it shoots out way faster instead of just like that. So you want to get your rims especially. You can get your brakes too. And then get your forks. And then also your plastics. And these things are pretty waterproof, so I think it's fine if you get a little bit of the electronics, but try not to. And then you want to get your controller. Mud likes to get up there because RTR controllers especially, they have like a weird design. Mud gets in there really easy. And then underneath your fender, and then you want to get your side plastics. And then don't forget your back rim. And then I'm gonna re-lube my chain either way. So I'm gonna get my chain. And you gotta get your motor and your mud guard. Okay, but that looks pretty good. I got my shoes really wet and it's pretty windy out, but I'll see you guys back in the garage to dry it off. So now, next is drying off. I would recommend some paper towels. I'll grab some paper towels real quick. Or if you don't have paper towels, regular towels work, but I have paper towels. So starting with, I would get your seat. And then next, I would get your screen and headlight if you have it, because you don't want any water getting underneath there. And then next, your bar pad, because like I said, this is foam and water. I don't know if it'll mold, but that would be bad. I would hate that. And then next, your bars and grips, and then your brakes. And then you want to get your port, charging port. And then your key ignition. You basically don't want to, you just want to dry it fully off, because, I mean, like your tires can air dry, but everything else, I don't think it's good to sit in water. And plus, like, also your plastics, those things with the water droplets, it'll like dry and look water droplet-y. and that's not very good. But you don't need to wipe the under, because not many people see that. And then you want to get your forks. And then you want to get your side plastics. And then your rear fender. And also you want to dry your chain. That's one thing. Before you lube it especially. And then also the back side of your battery. You basically want to get everything dry. Or try to at least. You can't get it perfect. So now next I will be showing you how to lube your chain. And I just use chain lube. I don't know if this is the right one. I mean, it's chain lube. I found it at Walmart, but I have been struggling to open this because it's childproof, and I kind of suck at childproof. Okay, so how I do this is I take my key, turn on the bike, and then tilt it up so the back tire is off the ground, and then I slowly throttle it while putting a little bit of chain lube on. Kind of need a multitask for this. Okay, I think I got about the right amount. Spilled it all over the floor on accident. Forgot to tell you guys, you should try to put a towel or a paper towel underneath it. But I'll see you guys on the next thing. So next we will be talking about tire pressure. So like what you should air your tires up to. And the book says, like the RTR book says 15 PSI on front and rear. But not gonna lie, I pumped mine up to 32 the other day. I didn't read the book, but they're fine. They're a little bit hard. I had mine up to 20 and they felt pretty squishy, so I pumped mine up. But also another thing that a lot of people don't do is there's these little screws here. These screws right here, they're on each side. But basically those, you gotta like blow out your suspension, I think it's called, which you just take like a little flathead screwdriver, and I do it like every 400 to 500 miles, depends. But you just unscrew them, and then you will probably hear a little depends on how often you do it. If you do it often, you probably won't hear that. But basically air gets trapped in there, and if you don't do it, like 2Dios don't even have that, I don't think. But if you don't do it, eventually I think your forks will explode. But on to the next thing. The next thing is battery. I read online that you're supposed to only charge e-motos up to about, and this goes for e-bikes too, up to about 80%, and then only drop it down to about 20%. I mean, apparently that maximizes your battery life, but I mean, not gonna lie, this bike doesn't get the best range. I mean, 20 miles, I mean, that's okay for cruising around, but I mean, not gonna lie, charge mine up to 100%, and then on average drop it down to 40 to 30 every ride. So maybe eventually I'll start doing 80 to 20. But also in the book, when it gets colder out, like probably in about a month, I'll probably start doing this. You want to take your battery out and then make sure that it's at 30 to 80%, and you want it in between there. So you take it out and then store it in like a warm, dry place. Not hot, not cold, warm, like probably like 70 to 65-ish. But you want to have it warm. And I would take my battery out, and if you're not going to ride your bike for a couple months, make sure it's in between, I would say 50 and 80%, because that'll just improve your battery life. And let's say you go on like a month trip, I don't know that I've ever gone on a month trip. But let's say you go on a month trip and you want to charge it up to in between 50 and 80%. And let's say you come back, you charge it up to 60 and you come back and it's at like 40. I would charge that, and you're not going to ride it. I would charge that in between 50 and 80 again. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.